What if I told you that somewhere in Lagos right now, there's a woman who just unlocked a level of freedom that most people only dream about? What if I told you that this same woman spent years knocking on doors, begging for studio time, watching her creative visions get delayed because someone else held the keys to her success? And what if I told you that today, she's holding those keys herself, with tears of joy streaming down her face as she stands in front of something that represents everything she's ever worked for? Well, buckle up, because this isn't just another success story. This is the story of Sonia, and how one woman's relentless pursuit of independence just changed the entire landscape of Nollywood forever. You know that feeling when you're trying to book a venue for your birthday party, and every single place is either booked solid or cost more than your monthly rent? Now multiply that frustration by 1,000, add the pressure of managing an entire film crew, throw in some Nigerian-level logistics nightmares, and you'll begin to understand what Sonia has been dealing with for years. Every single project she wanted to bring to life required her to play a twisted game of musical chairs with studio availability. One day she's ready to shoot, the next day the studio is double booked. One week she's got her cast assembled, the next week she's told the rates have mysteriously doubled overnight. It was like trying to build a house on quicksand, and frankly, it was driving her absolutely insane. But here's where the story gets interesting, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this part. While other actresses were content to just keep playing this exhausting game of studio roulette, Sonia was quietly plotting something much bigger. She wasn't just tired of the inconvenience, she was tired of watching her artistic vision get compromised because someone else controlled her creative environment. She realized that as long as she was dependent on other people's spaces, she would always be at the mercy of other people's schedules, other people's priorities, and other people's limitations. That realization hit her like a lightning bolt, and from that moment on, she knew exactly what she had to do. The journey to owning her own production house wasn't just about saving money and buying property, it was about completely reimagining what her career could look like. Think about it, how many times have you had a brilliant idea, only to watch it slowly die because you didn't have the right resources or environment to bring it to life? That's exactly what was happening to Sonia, project after project, year after year. Her creativity was being suffocated by practical limitations, and she could feel her artistic soul slowly withering away. But instead of accepting this as just the way things are in Nollywood, she decided to do something radical. She decided to change the game entirely. Now, let's talk about Nancy, Sonia's mother, because her reaction to this achievement is absolutely everything. You have to understand, Nancy isn't just any proud mom cheering from the sidelines. She's an actress herself who has walked this exact same path of frustration and limitation. She knows what it feels like to have your creative dreams held hostage by logistics. She's experienced firsthand the soul-crushing disappointment of having to compromise your vision because the available spaces don't match what you need. So when Nancy saw her daughter cutting the ribbon on her own production house, it wasn't just pride she was feeling, it was validation that all those years of struggle and sacrifice had led to something truly transformative. The emotional weight of this moment cannot be overstated. For Nancy, watching Sonia achieve this level of independence was like watching her own dreams come full circle. Every mother in the entertainment industry who has ever worried about their child's future, every parent who has ever wondered if their child's artistic pursuits would lead to stability and success, could see themselves in Nancy's tears of joy. This wasn't just about one family's achievement, this was about breaking generational patterns of limitation and creating a new legacy of empowerment and control. But let's zoom out for a second and look at what this really means for Nollywood as a whole, because honey, the ripple effects of this achievement are going to be felt for years to come. When fans heard about Sonia's production house, they didn't just see it as one actress getting her own space, they saw it as a beacon of hope for the entire industry. Finally, here was proof that it's possible to break free from the cycle of dependency that has kept so many talented creators stuck in survival mode instead of thriving in success mode. The beauty of Sonia's achievement is that it opens up possibilities that previously seemed impossible for most people in the industry. When young actresses see what she's accomplished, they're not just seeing a successful business venture, they are seeing a roadmap for their own futures. They're realizing that they don't have to accept the limitations that previous generations simply endured. They're understanding that with enough determination and strategic thinking, they can create their own opportunities instead of waiting for someone else to provide them. What makes this story even more powerful is the element of control that Sonia has now gained over her entire creative process. Gone are the days of having to water down her vision because the available studio doesn't have the right lighting setup. No more having to rush through crucial scenes because someone else has booked the space for later that day. No more having to postpone projects indefinitely because of scheduling conflicts that are completely beyond her control. Now, when inspiration strikes, she can act on it immediately. When she has a vision, she can execute it exactly as she imagines it, without having to negotiate with anyone else's limitations or preferences. This level of creative freedom is something that most artists can only dream about, but Sonia has made it her reality. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you had to compromise on something important because you didn't have full control over the resources you needed? How many times have you had a great idea that never saw the light of day because the logistics were too complicated or expensive? Sonia has essentially eliminated those barriers from her professional life, and the creative possibilities that this opens up are absolutely endless. The transformation from actress to producer and industry leader represents something much deeper than just a career change. It represents a fundamental shift in how Sonia sees herself and her role in the entertainment industry. She's no longer just someone who shows up to perform in other people's visions. She's now someone who creates the vision and makes it happen from start to finish. She's gone from being a player in the game to being someone who actually changes the rules of the game itself. This kind of evolution doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without significant personal growth and development. Sonia has had to develop skills far beyond acting. She's had to become a businesswoman, a project manager, a visionary leader, and a strategic thinker. She's had to learn how to manage budgets, coordinate teams, negotiate contracts, and make decisions that affect not just her own career but the careers of everyone who works with her. That's not just impressive, that's absolutely inspiring. The persistence and dedication that led to this achievement tell a story that goes far beyond just one person's success. This is about what's possible when you refuse to accept limitations as permanent fixtures in your life. This is about the power of having a vision that's bigger than your current circumstances and being willing to work systematically toward that vision, even when progress feels painfully slow. Sonia didn't just dream about having her own production house. She created a concrete plan to make it happen, and then she executed that plan with unwavering determination. What's particularly striking about Sonia's journey is how it demonstrates the importance of thinking long-term in an industry that often prioritizes quick fixes and immediate gratification. While other people were focused on just getting through their current project and dealing with whatever obstacles arose, Sonia was quietly building toward a future where those obstacles would no longer exist. She understood that temporary solutions would only lead to permanent problems, so she invested her time, energy, and resources into creating a permanent solution instead. The stability that comes with owning her own production house extends far beyond just having a guaranteed place to work. This achievement represents financial security, creative security, and professional security all rolled into one. In an industry known for its unpredictability and instability, Sonia has created a foundation that allows her to weather any storm. She is no longer at the mercy of market fluctuations, industry politics, or other people's business decisions when it comes to her ability to create and produce content. This kind of stability also allows for better long-term planning and more ambitious projects. When you know you have reliable access to professional quality facilities, you can commit to larger, more complex productions without worrying about whether you'll be able to secure adequate resources. You can make promises to investors, cast members, and crew members with confidence, knowing that you have the infrastructure in place to deliver on those promises. This level of reliability is invaluable in building trust and reputation within the industry. The inspirational impact of Sonia's achievement on younger actresses and aspiring filmmakers cannot be understated. For so long, the path forward in Nollywood seemed to follow a predictable pattern: work hard, hope for opportunities, and accept whatever limitations came with those opportunities. But Sonia has shown that there's another path, one that leads to genuine independence and creative freedom. She's proven that it's possible to grow beyond just being talented enough to get hired, to actually becoming someone who creates opportunities for others. When young women in the industry look at Sonia's success, they're seeing a completely different model of what their careers could become. They're realizing that they don't have to choose between artistic fulfillment and business success, they can have both. They're understanding that building an empire isn't just something that happens to other people, it's something they can work toward for themselves. This shift in perspective is potentially industry-changing, because it means the next generation of creators will be thinking bigger and more strategically from the very beginning of their careers. The proof of consistency that Sonia's achievement represents is perhaps the most important lesson of all. In a world full of overnight success stories and get-rich-quick schemes, her journey demonstrates the power of sustained effort over time. She didn't stumble into this success by accident, and she didn't achieve it through luck or connections. She identified a goal, developed a plan, and then worked that plan consistently until it became reality. That kind of methodical approach to success is rare, and it's exactly what makes her achievement so credible and sustainable. This consistency also sends a powerful message about the value of patience in pursuit of excellence. While others might have been tempted to take shortcuts or settle for less than ideal solutions, Sonia remained focused on her ultimate goal. She understood that building something truly valuable takes time, and she was willing to invest that time because she knew the payoff would be worth it. That level of long-term thinking and delayed gratification is what separates true success stories from temporary wins. So here we are, witnessing not just the opening of another production facility, but the beginning of a new chapter in Nollywood history. Sonia's production house isn't just a building, it's a symbol of what becomes possible when talent meets determination, when vision meets persistence, and when dreams meet concrete action. It's proof that the limitations we accept as just the way things are don't have to be permanent, and that individual success can create ripple effects that benefit an entire industry. The question now isn't whether Sonia's achievement is impressive, it obviously is. The question is what you're going to do with the inspiration and insights that her story provides. Are you going to continue accepting the limitations in your own life and career as unchangeable facts? Or are you going to follow Sonia's example and start building toward the level of independence and control that will allow you to create exactly what you envision? The choice is yours, but remember, every empire starts with a single decision to stop accepting less than what you truly want. What's your production house going to look like? Drop a comment below and let us know what dreams you're ready to turn into reality. And don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started with these inspiring success stories that prove anything is possible when you refuse to give up on yourself.